Hello!
Welcome back.
This week we've watched Robin Hood,
Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
not Men in Tights.
Oh, that's the one I watched.
Ah,
Wrong one.
miscommunication.
Is everybody ready?
So, yeah, thanks for joining us again. I thought I might start with a little update on how many followers we've got.
Ooh!
We've been doing this for a while and it feels like we've hit a little bit of a milestone. So, hello 57 YouTube followers.
Oh!
Hello 50 Instagram followers. And 127 TikTok followers. Thank you for watching along with us.
We know that they're not big numbers, but to us that means the world. Like, we're just doing something we really enjoy doing and wanting to have fun doing. It's not about how many people watch, but we just wanted as many people to enjoy it with us as they could. So it's great that we're getting followers.
Yep.
But our film.
Yes, Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. I said last week that it's not one of my favourites. Not to say I don't like it, don't get me wrong. I'm just very much a princess girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I did really enjoy watching it. But it may just because I was on the high of passing my driving test. But I did enjoy watching it. I do love animals, and they have some really great animal characters.
Yeah,
in this,
very cute characters in this.
Yeah,
it's such a nostalgic film for me. Again, this one I feel like it was made for the boys, really.
Yeah, it has got a lot of male figures in it. I got a very strong feel of Sword in the Stone, and I think it's probably because they're both old English tales.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, it was more about the adventure of it. It wasn't about love or true love's kiss or waking up from the dead or anything like that. It was adventure and bows and arrows.
Yeah. Something that I liked about this film is, I think we've said it before, a lot of the past films have felt a little bit unstructured.
Yeah.
Some of them have literally just been about the journey, but there's no real plot points. Yeah. Whereas with this one, it had a very clear beginning, middle, and end.
Absolutely. And I think that probably comes from the fact that they had source material that was very rich that they could work from. Whereas, like, Sword in the Stone, they had the source material, but they just didn't use it. Like, it was so flimsy. Whereas this, they really went, right, this is the story, this is how we're going to do it, and this is, we're going to add this in and this in and this in. And I do think, genuinely, they did it very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it made it a lot easier to watch.
Yeah. And I think I probably enjoy it more than I think I do. I think when I watch it, I think it's one of those films I go, oh, no. But when I watch it, I'm like, actually, no, it is a good film. But naturally, I'm going to be like, let me put Pocahontas on.
Yeah, everyone's going to have their favourites, and that's absolutely fine and expected. But yeah, I think when you do come back to some films and you go, oh, that's actually a lot better than I remember it being.
I don't really remember watching it as a child at all. I'm sure I probably did at some point, but I have no memories of this film. So it's not nostalgic at all for me. I recognise the songs and things, and I recognise the characters, but I don't remember sitting and watching the film.
Yeah. Whereas for me, I've said this before and I will say it again, this was a VHS classic favourite from my childhood. I watched this dozens and dozens of times. Mm-hmm. So it has been a very long time. I don't think I ever watched this one with my kid.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I haven't seen it since I was a child.
Long time ago, guys.
But it was as a less of
That
that.
took him a while.
As I was watching each scene, moving swiftly past that, I'm not going to acknowledge it anymore. It was like, oh my god, this part. Oh, I remember that. And like, there's like where they're singing the Phony King of England.
Yeah.
One thing that just completely caught me off guard was the scarecrow puppet of King
Yeah,
John
yeah.
that they use. And I remember being like, not obsessed, but whenever that came on the screen as a child, I remember the joy that I used to feel seeing that. And it just, I felt it watching that.
Yeah.
Watching it yesterday, I was, crazy, taken way back.
No, and I can 100% see how kids will really love this film, because there are lots of different characters that everybody can like. Like, I loved Clucky.
Yeah.
She was brilliant. I thought she was hilarious, the way she played with the children. And then the bunny was like, did I really hurt you? And she's like, no. Like, I was like, brilliant. And when the shuttlecock goes missing, straight away, she's like, what? You know? I was like, I feel you, girl. I feel you.
Relatable
Yeah.
problems. That's why you had to give up shuttlecock, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. Yeah.
Shuttlecock?
Badminton, yeah. No, I thought she was a brilliant, funny character. Feisty. She is the feisty maid character, isn't she? That you see in a lot of these things, and I really loved that. And I don't know, a chicken just felt like it suited her.
Yeah, and the Scottish accent as well was
Yeah.
like it fit.
Like, sometimes I've watched films where you've got animals as characters, and you think, was that the right animal for that type of person? This, I feel like they just got the right animals for the right roles.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you'd say that, because a couple of the characters, animals, were originally something else.
Okay.
Friar Tuck was originally going to be a pig.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they felt that it might offend people in sort of religious circles, so they changed him to a
Yeah.
badger. And
Which I feel badger sort of does work though, doesn't it? Because they come across quite kind and meek and mild, but they will.
yeah, and Friar Tuck is exactly that. He's
Yeah.
like this mild-mannered, friendly man of the cloth, but
They are
when
vicious.
when he needs to throw hands, he got involved.
Yeah.
The other character was the sheriff of Nottingham. He was originally going to be cast as a goat,
Ooh.
but they just felt that a wolf fit that character so much better, and they're absolutely right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think animals naturally have characteristics that we put on them, and a wolf, obviously, you think of them as sly and, you know, a bit evil and stuff, and because they are the big bad wolf, you know. Though I don't think as a child I would have realised he was a wolf.
No, I didn't.
Because I don't think he looks. You don't look at him and go, "Oh, that's a wolf."
You don't get many fat wolves, really,
No.
do you?
But then you wouldn't like a goat wouldn't have worked either. I don't think.
No, I'm not sure why they would have picked a goat.
Yeah, I feel like a wolf was right, but his design was a little off for a wolf. But still.
But now knowing that he's a wolf, looking at him, you can tell.
You can tell, but I don't think it's immediately recognisable.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Not like when you look at some of the other characters and you go, right, that's a rabbit, that's a chicken.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
a fox, that's a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, he is a wolf, and a wolf he shall remain.
After we have the storybook intro, Alan Adale introduces himself and starts us off with a song, The Whistle Stop, aka the hamster dance. Do you remember the hamster dance?
No.
Oh my word. Okay, so early 2000s internet thing. There was just a website, hamsterdance.com, and it was all these little animated hamsters dancing to a remixed version of Whistle Stop. So it's like really fast.
Okay.
And it will get stuck in your head for days. So I'll send that to you later, and you can punch me next week.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. No, I think that having the narrator for this really helped tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's what Sword in the Stone was lacking. And maybe they realised that once they rewatched Sword in the Stone, they were like, actually, having a little bit of something that moves along the story
Yeah.
at little intervals will actually be helpful. Especially when a lot happens and they don't necessarily, if you know the story of Robin Hood, you know sort of what's happening and you know the background of everything, whereas kids wouldn't necessarily know. So it's, you know, he sort of lays the like little foundations for it, which is good.
Yeah, and he sort of helps the audience know where they are and how everybody's feeling.
Yeah.
Without, it's just exposition, isn't it?
Taxes. And nothing's changed.
Oh, it was so relatable.
I know, I was like, oh, this is so depressing. It's so real.
Like all of the talk about the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, and I was like, wow, this is hitting hard.
I was like, this hits harder when you're an adult. Yeah, you hit it different. It's like, whoa. Oh, but good. Like, I enjoyed that it wasn't all like, oh, the town's all happy and lovely and like, oh, we live in a great place. You know, it was nice to have a different side of stuff. And rainy England.
Mm-hmm. Rained when bad stuff happened again.
When taxes.
When everyone was in jail. The thing that I really liked with the taxes and the sheriff, it was when he's going around collecting from everyone, and there's the one, he's like I think his name's Otto, the dog, with his leg in a cast.
Yeah.
And he just like tips his leg up and pours all of the coins out from it.
Yeah, because he hears the coins rattling.
Yeah. They're doing their best to hide it from him.
Mm.
He just takes every penny he can. He takes from the poor box at the church. He takes the little boy rabbit's birthday present, which I might add was really strange. So he got a farthing for his birthday. Oh, we all saved up. What, you all saved up one coin? Okay, cool. Why did they wrap it up in a box with a bow?
Because that was a massive amount at that time. They were all very poor.
But surely there's a better receptacle to deliver that in.
Yeah, but a gift comes in a box, doesn't it, normally?
Yeah,
so
I guess. I'm just being picky.
You're just being picky.
Pedantic.
Well, talking of the rabbits, I loved all the little bunnies and their whole little family was so cute.
They were cute. They actually were quite good. Something that always kind of puts me off of kid characters is when they are voiced by kids.
And they're whiny and annoying.
Yeah. But these characters didn't have that at all.
No.
So yeah, it was nice to watch them, and I just felt warmth from them. And not only the rabbits, but their friend, the turtle.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, and I thought the delivery of that character, because that kid was like really acting. The others were just talking, but he was having to talk slow and be like a turtle.
Yeah.
And a really well done children characters.
Yeah, very good. I think all the characters were really well developed in this, and I think what helped them is that they each had, like we've said before in previous films, they had a personality trait and they really honed in on this person is brave and the hero. This person is, a pansy. Prince John, I'm looking at you. They really honed in on what that character was, and they over exaggerated it and made it ridiculous and silly and fun. And that's what works, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And all of the characters brought something different to the table.
Yep.
I mean, there's some excellent characters in this.
Yeah, there is.
I think the least interesting of all of the characters are the main ones. Robin and Maid Marian.
Yeah, yeah.
Marion's hardly in it.
She's not a very big character, no. But and Robin, he is just a hero. That is he is the archetypal hero who he saves everybody, he takes from the rich and gives to the poor, and that is his whole personality. But he has great costumes.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of their disguises are brilliant.
Oh, yes.
Like, I was like, that's excellent.
So, I mean, the fortune teller costumes, that whole scene, the heist,
So funny.
amazing.
I was like, Little John has got some big knockers.
Yeah, it was the way that he's stashing all of the gold down there. And, it catches the eye of the rhino guy.
Yeah.
But,
I think they really used a lot of like comedy tropes and things in this, which really just worked.
yeah, there was a lot of physical comedy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all just perfectly executed.
Yeah, it is. And I did enjoy the film. I still am always going to prefer a more heavy musical because that's who I am. But not to say that some of the songs in this were really great. And when they get away from Prince John and they're all dancing in the woods, and that's like the Country Bear Jamboree from Disney World. I was like, I feel like this could be a scene in the Country Bears Jamboree. But it also sort of made me think that when I was watching that whole section, I was like, really, the whole thing is almost told like a country and western song. So it's almost like the narrator is the country and western singer who is telling the whole story through song. So, classic country and western songs that actually are just them singing a story. There's not like a verse, chorus. It's like, here's a whole story about my whole life of what's happened. It definitely had that feeling because it had like a beginning, it had the ups, it had the downs, it had the really bad down, and then it had the great ending. So I did feel that's what it made me feel.
Yeah, but then I thought that you said it was like a country and western, but I almost thought that felt like of the period where this was set, because like bards in inns and taverns would sing songs to this effect, where it's like telling a tale, and they used elements of sort of like the types of flutes and lutes that they would play. So it all just felt like it fit the time period and the aesthetic of the film.
I just think it had a bit of a country twang.
Yeah.
I think
I'd say that.
There was a bit of like, good old country and western in there.
Yeah, I
not all of it, just some bits. I was like,
yeah, I agree. What I'm saying is that this feels that it suits medieval England far more than the Jungle Book's Indian rainforest jungle. Rainforest isn't in India, but the Jungle Book's jungle in India with swing jazz.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
It worked, right? It's like it was great, but it didn't feel authentic to the setting, whereas the songs in this did.
It felt like they could actually be singing it in the time period that it was set. Yeah. I get that.
It had the flavour of it. But you mentioned the scene where they're all dancing in the woods to the phony King of England.
Yeah.
Did you notice like how much of that animation was reused?
Yes, especially the bit where Little John and Clucky are dancing together. That is literally Baloo and King Louis, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yep. There were bits from the dance scene in Snow White.
Yep.
Where she's dancing with all of the dwarves in the cottage. There was also stuff from the last movie, Aristocats.
Look, if it's good, why not reuse it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, Little John basically is Baloo,
Same voice character,
just
same
dressed
voice
in a
actor.
different skin.
It's the same design, just with clothes on.
Yeah, and a different sort of shade.
Yeah, he's brown.
But it's yeah, but it works as a basis, doesn't it? And work smarter, not harder. You know, at
Yeah.
the end of the day,
Absolutely.
they had the stuff there. It was going to work, and it cut costs, which Disney always need to try and do.
Yeah. What was your favourite character in this film?
Ooh. I mean, Clucky has a special place in my heart now. I just connect to her. Maybe because my nickname's Chicken, I don't know. But I don't know. I think I sort of liked all of them for different reasons, really. But yeah, I'd have to go with Clucky.
Yeah, that's fair. I love Prince John. He's such a pansy. He is
The worst lion I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's nothing like his brother.
I know. When his brother walked out, I was like, whoa, there's a lion. Hello.
Yeah. But the lion was a perfect choice for the
Yeah.
king. But yeah, there's so much about him. He's snivelling and like
weedy
crying.
and like me.
Mummy.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. I would say his biggest weakness was his own ego. The amount of times like Robin played him by just speaking to his ego.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
And his poor
So
snake, no.
Sir Hiss. He could
Sir
see it all
Hiss.
happening and he didn't want
No.
to listen because he was having his ego stroked.
Who doesn't like their ego stroked?
Ooh.
Hey.
But do you know who else's biggest weakness was their ego? Robin.
Mm-hmm.
He got absolutely tricked into that.
They're two sides of the same coin. You can either go down the road for good or evil.
Mm-hmm.
And,
They were trying to trap Robin and they knew that he could not resist showing off his archery skills.
I mean, I would be the same if I was that skilled.
Like splitting the arrow down the
I
middle.
know. Well, like the one arrow went up and he was like, right, let me shoot the other arrow so it spins
Yeah.
round and bam. I was like, that is...
A proper show off.
Yeah.
So, Maid Marian,
Yes.
they say that her uncle is King Richard.
Which doesn't make sense, but yes.
And King Richard's brother
Mm-hmm.
is Prince John.
Yep.
Is Marian adopted?
Maybe they have a sister we don't know about.
Yeah, but I think it's quite established. Like, it's quite obvious that only animals of the same species couple up and have families together. You look at every other animal family in this, and they are all the same species. But she is a fox in a family of lions. Explain that one.
Well, we don't know who's the queen.
No, but then that would suggest that he has married a different species.
Well, maybe he has. He's the king. He can do what he wants.
I suppose.
But remember, she could be from another royal family that is like related. They could be the Fox royal family. I don't know.
Hmm.
She does get the best engagement ring I've ever seen.
The flower?
The flower. I was like, I want that. I need that. Give it to me. Yeah, that is cute.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Maid Marian, if you had asked me before I had rewatched this week
mhm.
what the plot of this was, I would have said Robin rescues Maid Marian. But He doesn't. He doesn't.
It's
And I
not
don't
the
think he
plot.
does in any version,
No.
does he? So I don't know why. I just assumed. And I think it's probably a little bit of the, like, Disney factor, because it's always a damsel in distress being
Well,
rescued.
I guess he sort of does rescue her in terms of, so she doesn't have to marry the sheriff,
Mm.
you know, and she doesn't have to be with him because she loves Robin. She sort of more runs off with him rather than him saving her. But yeah, it's not really like Prince fights off people and saves her. He wins a competition and she runs off with him
Yeah.
because she's like, I want the winner.
Competition is just for a kiss, isn't it?
Yeah. But
Yeah. But I mean, the rescue scene that we do have, which is getting everyone who's not paid their taxes out of prison. Oh, it's amazing.
it is a good scene, and it's, again, lots of physical comedy in it. Though I have to say, the fire at the end lights a curtain on fire and then the whole place is on fire. I'm like, that was quick.
Mm.
I was like, was there like petrol like poured all over this castle or something? Because it just went woof up in flames.
Yeah, last I checked, stone wasn't that flammable.
Well, that's what I thought, but clearly
Mm.
there was something in the air.
Something that I really liked in that scene was Robin and Little John split up.
Yeah.
And Little John goes to rescue everybody while Robin goes up to Prince John's bedroom.
Yeah.
And he sets up like the pulley system with all of the bags of money going along it.
And he's like rocking Sir Hiss.
Yeah, as he's
sleep.
waking up. Yeah. A lot of detail went into that scene that most people probably wouldn't pick up on, and it was just lending to characterizing Prince John, the way that he's rubbing his feet together anxiously while he's asleep and things like that. In older films, he'd just be laying still, just snoozing. Maybe there'd be a bit of movement to his head, but there was all of that sort of anxious sleeping sort of fidgeting that he did, which I was just amazed by that.
Even like the covers and everything were like, and even Sir Hiss, like how he was sleeping was in a character and all of that stuff in his little cot.
Like a rocking crib at the bottom of the bed.
I loved that it was his tongue that was tickling his feet. I was like, that is quite funny.
Yeah.
But again, if Robin had just stuck to the plan and just helped to get the people out rather than worrying about his ego and getting the money, they wouldn't have got caught.
That is true.
It was the money that got them into trouble.
Yeah, the main objective there was to rescue everybody, but he was just like, no, I've got to make that bank.
I'm going to get the money.
So, now we've spoken about the film.
We've spoken about it. We both agree it's a great film.
But where are we going to put it on the ranking board?
Done. Okay.
There he is, Robin and Alan Adale.
That very fancy cock.
There we go.
So last week... Oh, no, this isn't last week.
That isn't last week.
No, that's not last week.
No.
The week before...
Aristocats. It was further down, wasn't it?
Yeah, hold this one then. Hold this one. Where was Aristocats? Here we go. So, last week, Aristocats, 35.
I say it was better than Aristocats.
I would agree. So our next higher ones, Peter Pan, Jungle Book, Dalmatians and Cinderella.
So, I think it's not quite as good as Peter Pan.
Great, thank you.
But
it's better than these.
Better than the others.
Yeah.
So I think these all need to move down by one.
Okay.
And this
26.
We seem to agree.
I'm 100% with you. Yep. I am more than happy. If you'd said to go above Peter Pan, that would have been where we'd had an argument.
Don't get me wrong. I think for me, it's very close.
And I can see that, absolutely. I just think Peter Pan, if we're talking about Disney films here, Peter Pan just edges it out.
Yeah, Peter Pan. I think the songs are more iconic.
The characters are more iconic.
Yeah.
Look at Tinkerbell. You ain't ever getting rid of her.
I feel like Robin Hood's more of a cult following,
It has.
whereas Peter Pan is like a mainstream.
But in terms of storytelling, design, and everything like that, it deserves to be up there.
I honestly thought we were going to fall out over this one this week. So
No, I'm happy. I'm happy with that because I do feel it's better than Jungle Book. I mean, personally, I would have Cinderella higher because I love it, but I can understand why we've gone with this.
yeah,
So,
I think we kind of discussed all of the sort of elements, didn't we? That
yeah.
just edged other things above it.
So I'm happy with this stand-in right now, and we'll see what happens next week.
I haven't got much hope for next week.
No, me either.
The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Now we know Winnie the Pooh is beloved. It is beloved and is a classic. And don't get me wrong, Winnie the Pooh as a character, love him. Watching an actual film of Winnie the Pooh, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't seen this film for as long as I can remember. I know I have seen it, but
Yeah.
I may as well have not seen it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Winnie the Pooh would work better in smaller chunks.
It feels like it should be like a TV show rather than a
There
film.
was an excellent Winnie the Pooh TV show in the 90s, which I loved.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, I think having a whole feature length Winnie the Pooh might be a bit tedious, but we'll find out next week.
We
I
will
guess.
find out next week. And we'll see how low we rank it.
We might be pleasantly surprised.
We might be pleasantly surprised. And Winnie the Pooh fans, we've got nothing against Winnie the Pooh himself.
We love Winnie the Pooh.
We love Winnie the Pooh. We love a big poo. But yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. Well, all that is left for us to say is
Remember,
you're never too old to be young. Bye.
See you later.
Is everybody ready?